What is up, my friends? The weekend has officially started. You are very welcome along to tonight's late night agenda. Straight away, we've got our first members chat of the night. I'm going to get that straight up on screen so I don't forget. Tom Judge, thank you for being with us for 12 months. Said, good evening, everybody, and happy Friday. Happy Friday to you, Tom, my man. Happy Friday. Right, let me just get this removed so we can go from that. There we go. Cool. How are we all doing? Nice to have you in. Of course, you're going to want to know what's going on with Zubimendi, and I'm going to do my best to keep you up to date with it. He did take part for about 25 minutes today for Real Sociedad in their friendly against Union Berlin. It was 1-1 last I checked, but a big question on everyone's lips is, was he crying? Was he anxious? Did he look like he was going to depart soon? Look, we're going to try and figure that out over the course of this evening's stream. I'm going to bring you the very latest on it. Look, straight out, for those of you who are in early, my understanding of the situation is it's a positive one. I'm not going to be the guy who says it's done because I haven't got those sources. But I can tell you, I'm pretty confident. I'm pretty goddamn confident that this gets done. Of course, there's still concern because we haven't seen movement. It's going to come down to the player, like we've always said. The player just needs to give that final nod, and then we'll know where this is going. I think it's going to be a yes. Many journalists that I've spoken to believe it's going to be a yes. Sources on the Spanish side believe it's going to be a yes. But none of that really helps us out until we get the here we go or whatever version of that you'd like to hear from the journalists. So tonight, let's go through and see where we're at. So The Echo posted something that caught my eye a while ago, and it's giving an update from a Spanish outlet. Again, The Echo can't spell Spanish because they call it Apanish. Again, great journalism. They say that Spanish outlet Revelo has said that he's given the thumbs up to a move to Anfield. And again, that's coming from the Spanish side. They're saying that Martín Zubimendi has given a thumbs up to join Liverpool. And that kind of backs up what Florian Plettenberg was saying yesterday. It's all just waiting for that final nod from the player. Look, we're going to talk about the payment structure. We're going to talk about why that's delaying things as well, because I'm sure people have a lot of questions on that. We're also going to discuss the likelihood of Stefan Bajcetic, or Badger Tits as he's affectionately known here on the channel. If you're wondering, by the way, why we ever say that word or that phrase, somebody's auto-corrected them dirty when they were trying to write Bajcetic one day, and that's what it came up with. Right, first super chat of the night. How are we, Joe? Lovely to see you in, my man. Appreciate your support. Said, yes, Craig, back again. You're becoming my nightly routine. Much love, my man. Well, much love right back to you. And again, I'm happy to become part of anybody's daily routine. It's a pleasure to be here with you all as always. And I appreciate it. It's Friday night, right? We're going to have a bit of fun tonight. Zubimendi is staying here. Said, Super Yoshi, nah, cool story, bro, but he ain't. You know, I get it. I'm not here to laugh at Sociedad. I've got respect for the club, mate. I'm not here to rain on your parade, but I genuinely think he's leaving, mate, in all honesty. No disrespect to Sociedad, as I've said, fine club. We've got a good relationship over the years. You know, we've got John Toshak, who was over there coaching. We've got Xavi Alonso, who came across to Liverpool from Sociedad. And, of course, we'd Aldo as well. So I'm not going to disrespect your club, but I'm also not going to put up with you just coming in and, you know, just waffling. You don't know if he's staying. I think he's leaving. The journalists on your side think he's leaving. But, again, we have to wait for that. Here we go. Joe Manning, thank you for gifting a membership, mate. Appreciate you being in. Benjamin Alford, always a pleasure, bro. Lovely to see you in, joining us all the way from New Zealand, which blows my mind, Benjamin, mate. Every time I see one of your comments or super chats come up, and just be reminded that you're all the way over in New Zealand. Nothing better than being on the road, listening to the positive Irish chirp of Craig. And I agree, Craig, this feels like a PR approach from Sociedad. That's exactly what it feels like, Benjamin. They have to reassure their fan base that they didn't make this easy. You know, but let's just look at a few hypocritical things they've done over the past 24 hours. So, one thing that they initially said and put out there was that it wasn't going to come down to money. If the player wanted to leave, then they weren't going to stand in his way. Now, all of a sudden, they're trying to throw a new contract offer at him. They have to make it look like they've done everything to try and convince the kid to stay. And I respect that. but it isn't going to work by the looks of it. And, you know, he's going to make a decision this weekend. That's what everybody is saying, regardless of how far along some people think it is or what the likelihood is of him coming or not. Everybody's in agreement that he wants to make that decision this weekend before the week that I guess Sociedad kick off their La Liga campaign. Craig, is it unreasonable for Liverpool to feel slightly slighted by the decision at this point? Moving him into the squad might be tough if things don't go well straight away. I don't see why Liverpool would feel slighted. I will still stand over the point that I don't think Liverpool go to the negotiating table this far unless they're getting positive vibe from Zubimendi's side. Now, it is his hometown club. It is where he got his footballing education, and it's always going to be a difficult decision. But he views Liverpool and Liverpool's situation as a special one. That's been mentioned again across multiple outlets. So I get it, we're all on edge. But you know me, if I felt like this was going to collapse, I'd be on here screaming and shouting. But I don't. I feel like we all need to just ride this one out a little bit. Understand everybody's frustration. Of course I do. We've seen Caicedo, we've seen Lavia, we've seen other situations in the past where Liverpool didn't get it over the line. This, I don't believe, is going to be one of those occasions. Hi Craig, how can Chelsea keep spending the money they are and get away with it, and Liverpool get a few pound out of the Solanke sale to Spurs? Thank you, James Hart, for that one. So, the second part of your question first, mate. Liverpool will get about 9 to 10 million quid from the Dominic Solanke move to Spurs. We do have a 20% sell-on clause. Anything above, I think, the 17 or 18 million quid that we paid, it'll be 20% of the difference between what Spurs are paying and what Bournemouth paid us. So I think it works out about 9.5 million quid, according to David Lynch anyway. So that's that part of your question answered. The first part, haven't got a clue. I haven't got a clue, mate. Their squad, they've got to get their squad down to 25 players under the age of 21, and they've 40-something first team players on the books at the minute, and I don't know what to say, mate. They've gone after Pedro Neto now. That's another 60 million euro plus 3 million in add-ons. Something's going to have to give here, because there's no way that Todd Bowley can just keep spending this money and nobody bats an eyelid at it. Yes, they did get money for Conor Gallagher, or they're going to get money for Conor Gallagher, and they've moved on some other players, but it is really just a case of madness at this point for Bowley. As a Liverpool fan, I hope they're forced into some sales, and I'd love to see Liverpool test their resolve with an offer for Levi Colwill. Rian, let me just get your super chat up on screen, my man. And I love this one, by the way, from Rian. Great comment, mate. New generation Alonso in the making. Well, he is his idol. He did grow up with pictures of him on his wall, and he could thread a very similar pathway to Liverpool and hopefully to a Champions League victory as well. So, great super chat, mate. Well in. Appreciate it. Another one from Jensen. Let me just get this up on screen as well. Hey, Craigo. Happy weekend. Love your streams. It's reciprocated, bro. You know, that love definitely felt by me as well. I've been sitting around all day waiting for tonight. I've done all my work during the day, put out a new podcast episode, got a video up, but my day leads to this. I'll come on here and chat with you guys. So, appreciate your support, mate, and thank you. Davino, always lovely to see you, Devon. Thank you for dropping in, mate. Just wanted to pop in and say thank you for your advice last night. Also wanted to thank you for being you. We're all proud of you, mate, WFM. And I hope that situation went well for you today, Devon. Obviously, you know, I'll keep it private between me and you what it was about. But I do hope it went well for you, mate. And always here for advice, bro, as you know. Daniel, thank you for your super chat, Daniel. Really appreciate it. Let me just bring it up on screen for you. Don't go to Liverpool because you won't be better than Rodri anyway. Is that what the Real manager has said to Zubimendi? I haven't got a clue what the manager has said to him or not, but if he said anything along those lines, you can guess what the response back from the player would be. I hope that they don't leave a bitter taste in Zubimendi's mouth here, by the way. Sociedad, you know, there's no need to vilify this kid. You know, if Liverpool trigger the release clause, which is what we're humming and hawing about at the minute. So obviously Liverpool don't want to pay 60 million quid up front in one go if they can help it. Whether they pay a couple of million more and do this deal over 4 or 5 years or the length of his contract, That's what this sticking point is. But it's not going to be the thing that makes or breaks the deal. I can say that very confidently. Liverpool aren't going to walk away from this because of the payment structure. They just prefer to not have to tie up so much cash immediately in one go, because obviously we've got other targets in the window. Benjamin, another super chat. Benjamin, thank you, mate. So 2 questions for you, Craig. Do you think Trent will stay? And second, will he rotate in midfield with Stefan going on loan? So to the first part of your question, 100% I think Trent stays. 100%. Second part, haven't got a clue. Sure, we haven't seen him in pre-season or anything yet, so I've no idea what Arne Slot is going to utilise him for. But if he brings in Zubimendi and he's got McAllister, I don't see where Trent gets into that midfield. Even allowing for Szoboszlai or McAllister or Jones, I don't see Trent going in there. So I would imagine he's probably going to stay in the right back role. The only question will be whether that's a hybrid role that sees him tucking inside again. I don't know the answer to that one. But definitely feel Trent staying. Alison, thank you. Famous Brazilian goalkeeper here in the chat with us. Evening, Craig. Just for you to know, you're in South America as well. Greetings from Brazil. Thank you, Mr. Allison. Much appreciated. And you return back to training today as well, by the way, Allison. Well played. I don't know if you guys seen that, but Alison Becker did indeed return to the AXA training facility today. And thank you for your super chat, mate. LVP Badger. It's strange how everything around City has gone quiet, isn't it? Yet again, it's a disgrace. Maka and Zubimendi double pivot, sexy football, smashing it, mate. Thank you, appreciate that. I mean, I wouldn't expect anything else to happen around City really until the hearing, which is rumoured to be November. So yeah, I mean, they got their fine for being late back out the games or delaying the kick-off of games. They were fined about £2 million by the Premier League for that. But yeah, I wouldn't expect anything on this. But what is notable is players who are leaving Manchester City or potentially leaving. We've just seen Julian Alvarez obviously agree that move to Atletico. Haaland, he never looks like a happy bunny. De Bruyne is getting to the end. Guardiola's going into the last year of his contract with City. So look, that's what I've said all summer. I feel like us and Arsenal really need to go at it now, because that league title's there for the winning. And right now it feels like it's going to be Manchester City, Liverpool or Arsenal. And if Liverpool and Arsenal can really add to their squad and get off to a good start, I think City could struggle a bit this season. Might sound a bit mad me saying that, but I really don't see the same fear factor in that City team. Carl, let me just get your super chat up on screen, Carl, and thank you so much, my man. Any word on Palace's interest in Caoimhín Kelleher? It's a great question and one that I'm trying to get to the bottom of, Carl. Unfortunately, being honest, no. I don't have anything new on Caoimhín Kelleher's situation. I have a little bit on Georgi Mamardashvili, which looks positive again. That'll come down to whether Liverpool want that move to happen. Mamardashvili is open to leaving Valencia and coming to Liverpool, even knowing that he's initially going to go out on loan. So that's 100% possible. It's down to if Liverpool want to make the move happen. I think they might, 23 years of age, which is a baby for a goalkeeper. So maybe if Kelleher moves out, then we see that money utilised to bring Mamardashvili in. So keep an eye on the situation. But being honest, as of right now, no, mate, nothing new on the Palace stuff. Adam, thank you, mate, for your super chat. Appreciate it as always. Adam has said, you seen the Davo Cop post? Love the streams, bro. Thank you, Adam. And I think I know the one you're talking about. I think I have it in my notes here. 1 second. Which one's Davo C? One sec. No, that's not that one. Sorry, mate. I'm going back through all of my notes here because I've got so much stuff that came in today. Not that one. That's Barcelona. That's Mateo Moreto. No, I don't have that in my notes, so feel free to let me know what it is. Gary, thank you, Gary, for gifting 10 Anfield Agenda memberships. Really kind of you, mate. They've gone to, 10 people in the chat. No need for me to go through and read them all. But Gary, top man, really appreciate that. And I know the chat will as well. Right, another super chat from Off the Post, and then I'll get stuck into the news. So, how confident are you about Zubimendi? So last night I said 80-20. Today I'm ratcheting that up to 85-15. Genuinely, I'm confident on this one. I don't know why I'm so calm, because you know me, these things agitate the hell out of me. But I really do feel like all signs here are pointing to him leaving. You know, the longer a situation goes on where you're undecided about leaving somewhere, I think you're starting to try to look at convincing yourself to stay. And if you're doing that, you've already made your decision. So I think he wants to come. Again, the report coming out of Spain this evening from, was it Revelo? 1 second, let me just get this correctly. Yeah, Spanish outlet Revelo said that Zubimendi has given a thumbs up to a move to Anfield. And that kind of ties in with others. So, yes, I do think it happens, mate. I really do. And 85-15 is the confidence level. Benjamin, thank you, mate, for another super chat. Craig, have you seen the Valencia goalkeeper? Can you give a quick bio on his style? Very commanding, very assured, 23 years of age, so quite young, very tall and physical, had a very good Euro campaign. Not going to say I watched much of him with Valencia because I didn't, Benjamin. I'd be an absolute liar, bro, if I said that to you. But all I can say to you is, from the journalists I've spoke to, Liverpool are convinced that this keeper's the real deal. And again, I want to come back to the word future-proofing, which is what Liverpool are looking to do here. And I don't know if Liverpool are expecting something to happen with Alisson in the next season or two, but I guess they're making sure that if anything does happen, that they're not left scrambling around to try and find a replacement. Yeah, I mean, the Davo Cop news is nothing really. It's just, again, I would call it the last stings of a dying wasp. Basically, they're going to offer Marino and Zubimendi new contracts, but I don't think it's going to come down to the financials. It's going to come down to ambition. You know, the player's going to want to come play in the Premier League, challenge for the top European trophies. And with all due respect to Sociedad, he's not going to do that there. Particularly, they've lost a great centre-back as well. Marino could be going to Arsenal. This just feels like, again, to me, a case of them showing their fans that they're fighting to keep the players, but I don't think they're going to be successful. I really don't. I don't know about Marino and Arsenal. I haven't kept any tabs on that because it's no interest to me, but with this one, my indication is that the player is very, very much leaning to the yes, make the move happen. Then it'll be down to Liverpool to either trigger that €60 million release clause in one payment or agree a structure with Sociedad. Alonso's squad number 14 is available at Liverpool, said Johnny O'Connor. I mean, you'd have to imagine that that's likely, right? He's number 4, if my memory's right, at Sociedad. But yeah, you'd have to imagine that number 14 would be standing out and appealing to Martin Zubimendi. LFC Love, thank you for gifting a membership. Really appreciate that. So, this coming in from, again, a Sociedad-based source that said, in England, they are sure that Zubimendi will wear the red shirt from this season onwards. Martin Zubimendi must make his mind up this weekend. Liverpool will not wait for him. There is a hope in San Sebastian that he will stay. But again, the same guy has just said that Liverpool are convinced he'll be wearing the Liverpool shirt from next season. So, look, as I said, they have to fight to try and keep him. But he either moves this summer or he takes his chances on ever getting a move like this again. Because with all due respect, Liverpool are, at this point in time, a far more attractive proposition than the likes of United. We know he's turned down Bayern. We know he's turned down Arsenal. I really feel like we know that the kid wants it or we wouldn't still be here. If Hughes and Edwards weren't getting the right vibes from his agent, who, remember, is an agent that Hughes knows well, an agent that represents Alonso, an agent that brought Andoni Iraola to Bournemouth, which Richard Hughes was part of as well. So, again, I feel like they're just doing what they have to do publicly at this point, Sociedad, to make it look like they dragged it out and they fought hard to keep him. But if he has ambition and he wants to really go on and establish himself as a real top talent in Europe and challenge for honours, then he's got to make the move. If he decides he wants to stay and, you know, ultimately his heartstrings pulls on it, then Liverpool need to move on quickly from it. So either way, I believe he's coming, but I also understand why Liverpool would want it done this summer. This weekend, best channel on YouTube, said Carl. Thank you for that, mate. Appreciate you. Right, I'm going to fly through my notes before I forget. So 1 second. So as the day's gone on, obviously this situation has evolved. But I want to go back to Stefan Bajcetic for 1 second, because Stefan Bajcetic has been told, according to Davo Cop, that he can leave Liverpool on loan for the next season. Now, there's been mixed reports today about the possibility of a player being used as a make-weight in this deal. We've had the likes of Miguel Delaney, I think, and David Ornstein saying at this moment in time there's no real talk of a player being included. Others have said there is talk of Liverpool maybe loaning a player or including a player as a make-weight. And maybe Stefan Bajcetic could be that make-weight. You know, if Liverpool want him to go on loan for the season, that could be a very good player that Sociedad get in for the campaign. But again, it is just conjecture at this point. But if Dave's right, then I don't really disagree with him going on loan. If Arne Slot doesn't feel like he's going to be able to give him enough minutes to get his fitness back up and get him to where he needs to be, then a loan is the sensible option. Interested to see, though, whether there'd be potentially a callback clause in that loan. You'd have to imagine there would be, in case we picked up injuries or anything like that. My goodness. So many things today. Outside of Martín Zubimendi, I want to just draw your attention to one other issue at the club at the moment, and that's that apparently Ibrahima Konate faces an uncertain future. Football Insider have said that Liverpool's new head coach hasn't been convinced about Ibrahima Konate, and that he may be falling a little bit down the pecking order. And I've got to be honest here, folks, I can understand that. Look, I'm not writing off Ibu, but he hasn't had a great end to the last campaign, obviously between injuries and his form being a bit iffy. When I've watched him for the little bit he did play in pre-season, again, he did not convince me one bit. So he really does need to pull his socks up here. Because if we're going to play out from the back, we're going to play with a high line, we're going to need to be brave, and he's going to have to make sure that he's not getting his pocket picked, he's not looking awkward in possession. And it didn't surprise me when I read it. Now again, nobody's trying to say Liverpool are looking to sell Ibrahima Konate, but he does have to pull his socks up, because at the moment, if I was Arne Slot, I'd probably be starting with Kwanzaa and Van Dijk as my starting centre-backs at this moment in time. Ibu looks a little bit shaky at the minute. Have we agreed personal terms with Zubimendi? Don't know the answer to that. I don't. It feels like yes, because everyone's saying this is just coming down to whether the player wants to make the move or not. So I don't see personal terms being an issue, but it is just educated guesswork, Stephen, at this point, my friend. Any news on Ben Doak? Yes, a little bit. There are 3 or 4 clubs interested in Ben Doak. Leicester City, Brentford, I can't remember off the top of my head who the other 2 are. Liverpool potentially willing to sanction a loan for Ben Doak. Thankfully, I've not seen any more written about the potential of Liverpool selling Ben Doak, because I think that would be insanity. Fabrizio earlier on as well gave the here we go to Pedro Neto going to Chelsea for about €63 million, including add-ons, which is a very risky signing, in my opinion, for Chelsea. If I was a Chelsea fan, I'd be a bit concerned about this, because Neto's a great player. You know, got fire in his belly, as I've said before, but his injury record's been shocking for somebody so young. So, again, it's a lot of money that they're after putting up there, but sure, Todd knows what he's doing at this stage, right? A little bit of a development on our owners, actually, if I may, for a second. There's been some conversation over in the United States of America that LeBron James, Redbird Capital and FSG are potentially looking to buy the Celtics, Boston Celtics. We've always thought that they may move for that Las Vegas NBA franchise that will become available. But their hometown basketball team, they already own the Red Sox. Mike seems to think Mike being from that neck of the woods or being from America in our Discord seems to think a better financial decision for them would be the Vegas option. But again, let's wait and see what happens here. But they are in expansion mode, as they've said, and it doesn't look like they're stopping buying up clubs or franchises or teams or whatever you want to call it anytime soon. Again, that worries me. I can't lie to you, because there's only so many top people that FSG can have involved, and the more things they add, the more franchises, the more clubs, the more sporting ventures they add, the thinner that talent gets spread out, in my opinion. Now, thankfully, we have Michael Edwards taking care of the football operations with Richard Hughes, so just keep an eye on it. And again, I'm not trying to equate that if they buy that, it's going to take money away from Liverpool. I don't believe that's the case. Konate being bad, why wouldn't he agree? He has been bad. I don't disagree with you. I don't think Konate's had a great end to last season and a great summer anyway. Mike said to me, the Vegas franchise makes much more sense for them. My photo story said, we're getting too excited about Zubimendi. We need to be patient and only believe he's signing when it's confirmed by Liverpool. So, what would you rather we do? Not talk about it? I mean, with all due respect, mate, you're entitled to feel however you want to feel, but you don't get to tell everybody else not to be excited or to be excited. Let them make up their own mind. If people want to get excited about it, cool. That's the weekend. Relax, chill. So, I'm going to put a poll up and ask what people are thinking. How are you feeling about this deal now? Do you think it happens? Right, so poll got into the chat. Will be signed Zubimendi? Yes or no? Let's leave that run and see how people are feeling. Carl, thank you for your super chat, my man. Craig, I've heard a rumour they looked at the Boston Celtics and went for the cheap option and just went for Celtic. They always like the cheap option, but I don't think they'd be buying Glasgow Celtic now, to be fair, mate. With all due respect. And I don't know anything about basketball or that, and so I have no idea how good or bad the Celtics are and whether it would be a good or bad addition for them. I have no clue. Alex Cooper said, do you think we get this decision tonight? No, I don't. Because he's going to be either travelling back or he's going to be staying overnight in a hotel. I don't know what way they're doing the whole Berlin trip, so I wouldn't, unless maybe something's happened between the clubs on an agreement on a structure, maybe that kicks things along a bit. It does feel like Liverpool are getting to the point now where they're saying as well, decision time. We're not waiting around. Make your decision. Do you want to come? Brilliant. If you don't want to come, we need to move on. So I'm really confident about it. That's all I can say. Bricktop said, Konate's distribution is suspect and those silly free kicks are an issue, but I really want them to be a success. I don't disagree with that, and you've said those silly free kicks have annoyed me as well. He is a very good defender on his day, but he does need to be a bit more assured in possession for me. This coming in from Fabrizio Romano was about Georgi Mamardashvili. He said he's keen on the move to Liverpool and he's okay about exiting on loan as well. Which, again, makes sense. Liverpool bring him in. They're not going to give him minutes this season, really, because Alisson's the number one. But buying him now, sending him on loan to Bournemouth or elsewhere, I think makes some strategic sense. Was he playing us for a pay rise? No, Dave. No. It's, again, if it was over a pay rise, it'd have been done now. All it would have taken was him to go, I'll stay if you give me a pay rise, and that's the end of it. So, no, I don't think it's over a pay rise, mate. I don't think he's playing us. Look, I get it. We're all looking at this from multiple angles. We're all seeing different things. We're all feeling different things. Some people, like our friend earlier on, said everyone needs to calm down. Others, like me, are just hyper about it all. But, all I can say to you is I'm confident in it. You know, that's all I feel like I can add to this conversation at the moment is I have one source that said to me it's happening, but I don't ever go public with one source. I need more than one. So the only reason I haven't got a here we go type thumbnail tonight is because I'm waiting for a second confirmation. But honestly, to me, it looks positive. Liverpool about to make around about 9 million quid as well, as we said earlier on, from that Dominic Solanke deal to Spurs. David Lynch is your source. No, actually, he isn't on this one. I haven't been in contact with David since we recorded. Yesterday, was it yesterday or the day before we recorded? No, I haven't been able to get a hold of David. In all honesty, he's been very busy. He isn't my source on this. But remember one thing I've always said on this channel. I don't have great sources in England, but I've always told you guys about two countries that I do know stuff about and do have access to good journalists from, Spain and Germany. So actually, my source on this one is from the Spanish side. You know, if I had David Lynch saying yes as well, I'd be on here now saying, cool, here we go, it's happening. But no, I haven't heard the yes, it's done from David Lynch. No, I haven't. Jason Morris, how are you? Said, only confidence I've got is quality content from you. The window is making us nervous. Look, that part I want to talk about tonight as well, because whilst I'm happy that we're looking to bring in somebody of Zubimendi's quality, it still doesn't sort out the rest of this damn transfer window. So FSG ain't going to get away with dragging out one signing and maybe a Trent extension and then time to get the bunting out and have a parade. That's not happening. And I've seen other people as well talk about, well, give FSG credit. No. The plan going into this window was 3 signings. Doesn't matter what journalist you follow that covers Liverpool, the plan was 3 signings. A centre-back, a midfielder and a forward. That's been repeated ad nauseum by everybody. So that's the standard. And again, I'm going to be interested to see what the net spend is at the end of this window. Because if we brought in Zubimendi, that's a net spend of about, oh God, what would it be? 51 million quid. So then that's the starting point. Any money we bring in then on top of that. And remember, we've already saved £18.7 million per season just by Adrian, Thiago and Matip leaving. So that will more than cover the cost of Zubimendi's amortised contract and his wages. So again, it's nearly a free hit here. So those that want to just say, yay, FSG are amazing, I'm going to keep giving you doses of reality to show you that they're actually still being cheap. But there's nothing wrong with doing good business. And Zubimendi would be good business. But let's not, get the I love you, John banners out just yet. Thank you, Liam, for your super chat, mate. Appreciate you. Said, when do we think Trent Alexander-Arnold and Virgil van Dijk's contracts get sorted? Personally, I think Mo will go on a free at the end of the season. So I totally agree with you on Mo. I don't see any way that gets resolved in a positive way for Liverpool unless he's willing to take less money and has a very good campaign. So I think, yes, Liam, most likely he departs at the end of the season, which feels right, by the way. It feels like the right time to say goodbye. So we'll have Mo for this campaign. On top of that, Trent, I think, gets sorted before the end of the month. And Virgil, I don't know. Some indications are that Liverpool are relaxed about Virgil and those conversations may happen towards the end of 2024. I'm not here to say whether that's a good or a bad thing. We'll all have our own opinion on it. Obviously, I'd like as much confirmation on everything as soon as possible. Jason's Red Army, how are you, mate? And thank you for your membership comment. Said, like always, we don't buy anybody this season. I thought I was supposed to be the harbinger of doom about transfers. Things can happen quickly. And I'm not yet at the point of screaming about nerves, but I am at the point where I'm starting to get a little bit ticked off by the risks we're taking to get things sorted. There's no reason why we can't and shouldn't be still talking with Zubimendi, but going after option number 2, 3 or 4. And especially if we've got to talk about some players moving on to free up some money or squad places as well. We're leaving ourselves a lot of work to do here in a very short window of time. Jack Dempsey, thank you for your super chat. I'll read it out in just 1 second, but I got to say congratulations to Spain on winning the Olympic gold medal today. 5-3 after extra time against France in the final. A really entertaining game. French fought back from 3-1 down to equalise, send it into extra time, but Spain just too good at the end. So congratulations to Spain on the gold medal. Jack said, what up my man, or my guy? Who do you think is next after Zubimendi? Gordon possibly. Also, do you think if Endo, Morton and Bajcetic leave, we get another DM? No. No to the DM. Because I think we still have options, right? Let's look at it this way. McAllister, Gravenberch, Zubimendi if he comes in. You could maybe shoehorn somebody else in there, but we still own Bajcetic, so it's important to point out that we're not moving him on fully. I think Endo and Morton are just available for the right price. You could definitely make a valid argument to say keep one of those two around in case. I mean, I'm not going to push back against that, but what was the first part of it? Who's next after Zubimendi? Maybe the goalkeeper? You know, an educated guess would be the goalkeeper potentially being next. Off the post, thank you mate for your super chat, very kind. Craig, you mentioned in the previous stream about my channel name being a nod to Darwin. I had ideas of starting my own podcast channel, but then my mum died. This community lights up the darkness. Well, again, I'm so sorry about your mum. I am, of course, incredibly proud and happy that you found some comfort in amongst our community, mate. And definitely do start your podcast. Do it. If I didn't take that chance and start my own, mate, you know, and in those early days, I was ridiculed, man. I was rinsed by people. But I didn't drop my head. I kept going, and because of your guys' support, here we are. So, condolences on your mum, but definitely do start that podcast, mate. Do. Whitehammer, how are you, sir? Nice to see you in tonight. Be honest, does it look like Alisson's last season? Yes. I would say that that's a fair, educated guess. And I don't know why. I can't deny though, mate, I do have a similar feeling to you that this may be Alisson's last season. I haven't heard that it is, but if you're already future-proofing on a goalkeeper, maybe they're concerned about Ali's injuries, maybe they know that there's a super offer coming in next summer for Alisson from Saudi that maybe he'll consider. I don't know, but I wouldn't say you're a million miles off the mark, and the club wouldn't be looking to the future if they didn't feel it was possible. So it's always better having the in-house solution ready rather than having to go scrambling around in desperation, because that usually means a lot more money to be spent. Alex Macklin, thank you for joining back with Anfield Agenda Ultras, mate. Really appreciate that. What's this one? Oh God, I've missed a couple here to get up. Thank you for that, Harley. Appreciate you. Let me just work back up. Benjamin, you had one as well. There we go. From Benjamin. Would you swap Konate for Jonathan Tah? If not, who would you go for? And is there a good enough English centre-back in our academy? So in the academy, hands up, mate. Honestly, I don't know. I'll ask Jack Gill, because Jack Gill's really good about looking over Liverpool's academy. In a previous life, that's where he was. His work was looking after or looking at the academy products. Rest of your question, would I take Jonathan Tah? No, I wouldn't personally. I don't think he's good enough. And I would like Antonio Silva, who thankfully I've actually seen a link to. You know, right now, if you're talking about the profile of centre-backs we're looking at, an Antonio Silva or Levi Colwill, I would bite your hand off for right now. And I think might be worth testing Chelsea's resolve if they have any potential FFP or PSR issues coming down the line. Sean Handley. Craig, can you give a shout out to my fiancée Cara? She says she's sick of hearing your voice every night. Keep up the good work. Cara, I don't blame you. You're probably right to be sick of me. But you'll grow to love us. All of us, not just me, Cara. You'll grow to love the whole community. So stick with us. We'll win you over there somehow. And congratulations, by the way. You said fiancé, so congratulations on the upcoming wedding. Give Ali's job to Kelleher. Again, it's strange to me that nobody is kicking our door down with offers for Queevy and Kelleher at 25 million quid. It seems like a no-brainer. Barcelona, by the way, have confirmed the signing of Dani Olmo. They finally found a way to make that happen. They confirmed it on their own website. That is 100% official and done. Something that caught my eye, I wanted to run past you guys. It's about a proposal the Premier League are looking at. You know the summer series in America, they're talking about that again. They said the Premier League is working on a proposal for United and Liverpool to form part of a 4 or 6 team tournament late in July, while Arsenal may also become part of the conversation. Sources close to the organisers, who wished not to be named due to the sensitivity of discussions, insisted no financial proposal has yet been made. Piece goes on to say that Liverpool and Manchester United would probably receive about $8 million or about £6.3 million for participation in this, but that they may make more money elsewhere. So a lot of people were asking about ticket prices and stuff for Liverpool's pre-season games this year and who was responsible for them. It was promoted by an Australian events company called TEG. So they were the one who put on Liverpool's pre-season friendlies this summer. The Rivals in Reds tour of the US this summer between Liverpool, Arsenal and United was promoted by an Australian company, and hence they would be responsible for those ticket prices. What are the chances of Zubimendi coming now? Again, so here I'm extremely confident on it, but unless we see something to the contrary, yeah, for me, I think it's happening. One week away, so looking forward to Ipswich versus Liverpool. Happy days. Well, a little bit more than 1 week away. Obviously, we've got a double header this Sunday, 12:30 and 5 o'clock. Liverpool playing 2 games, both of them going to be shown on LFC TV. So make sure that you join us for those watch-alongs. So the Romano tweet is nothing to do with Liverpool. So yes, we can all calm down on the Romano stuff. What else we got on Zubimendi? So Anfield Edition posted earlier on to say Liverpool's preference is to spread Martin Zubimendi's transfer fee across 4 to 5 years and are working on the structure of the deal. The expectation is that Zubimendi will join Liverpool. Duel Master, let me just get this up on screen for you, bro. Craig, why can't we offer Kelleher a new deal and say he goes out on loan to get minutes and then he comes back as number 1 when Alisson leaves? I mean, I'm not saying that isn't something that the club could do. Again, I'm guessing here, but maybe they look at Mamaradashvili and think he has a higher ceiling than Kelleher. Again, I am guessing here. So, like you, I'd love Kelleher to stay around. I understand at 25 he's going to want first team football and regular minutes, especially with the new Irish manager coming in and saying similar as well. Lee Carsley has been appointed the interim manager of the English men's team as well. So congratulations to Lee Carsley on that one. Obviously former Republic of Ireland international and coach of the England under-21 team as well. John Murray, thank you, mate, for your super chat. Said, how long before we get a here we go for Zubimendi? So Saturday's my day off, John, and I'm almost certain, as always happens, when I have a day off scheduled, something is going to happen. So I'm going to say tomorrow, because that's usually what happens with me when I take a day off. All hell breaks loose and the day off goes out the window. So my guess is tomorrow. again, for everyone going on about the Romano stuff, it's apparently got nothing to do with Liverpool, so I wouldn't be worrying about what Romano said in his new video. Peanut Butter Podcast says, Bajcetic. Yes, my friend, Dave O.C. Kopp said earlier on today that Stefan Bajcetic has been informed by Liverpool that he is available to go on loan this season to gain experience. Now, moving him to Sociedad, I think that would be just win-win for everybody. Send him to Sociedad on loan for a year. Get really, obviously he understands Spanish football. Have him come through the Celta Vigo Academy. Let him go to Sociedad, get some experience. Sociedad fill a gap for a year. If they lose Zubimendi, we get a player to go play in a good league, develop. It seems like a possible win-win. But I am guessing at the second part of that. What we can say is that it's been confirmed that he's available on loan. Here's a mad one for you. Liverpool man on club wish list. Liverpool left back Andy Robertson is wanted by Turkish club Galatasaray, according to reports in Turkey. The Super League champions are reportedly on the lookout for an experienced left back, and Galatasaray have also been linked with Lucas Digne. I would be absolutely astonished if Liverpool sold Andy Robertson. Absolutely astonished. Costas, absolutely. Then you bring in the likes of a Knight Yuri or another young left back who, can settle in and become Robbo's replacement longer term. But I don't think the club are finished with Robbo just yet. So I don't really believe that Liverpool are going to be selling Andy Robertson to Galatasaray. Craig, if you think Alisson is going next year to Saudi, what do we have to sell Kelleher in this window for? He could become our number one. So as I've said, Nigel, a lot of this is guesstimations, mate. I don't have anything concrete to tell me that Alisson Becker is going to leave in a year. And with regards to the second part of it, all I can think is that the club must look at Mamardashvili and think that he has a higher ceiling and he could be one of the best goalkeepers in the world. I'm not saying I agree with it, but I'm just trying to answer your question as you put it, mate. So, yeah, I want Kelleher around. I love Kelleher. I'm Irish as well, so obviously for me having an Irish player in goal for Liverpool would be amazing. But I can't answer those questions. Like, who knows? We may see a situation where Kelleher stays on, and then Kelleher and Mamardashvili go head-to-head in a year's time or something. I don't know. But nothing has been decided as of yet because nobody's put in an offer that Liverpool deem anywhere near acceptable for Kelleher that I'm aware of. Opinion on Kadioglu from Fenerbahce. I don't have one, mate, because with all due respect, I don't know much about him. So I'm not going to sit here and pretend I know about a fellow. I've not watched Fenerbahce, so I haven't got a clue, bro. Is the poll still up? Absolutely it is. Let's have a look at it. So we did ask you guys, will we sign Zubimendi? We've had almost 2,400 votes. So far, 79% of people say yes, we will sign Zubimendi. And a couple of people don't feel as optimistic about it, which, of course, I respect. Nobody knows the exact answer to this question yet. So a couple of little things. We love to try and get to 1,000 likes on the stream. So if you can, please do hit that like button for me. And if you haven't subscribed, please do. Thank you to everyone that helped us out last night. As you can see, we've gone past 267,000 subscribers. I do have a little subscriber goal. I'm going on holidays on the 5th of September. I'd love us to get to 270,000 subscribers before I go away. So hopefully we can manage that one. But thank you again to everyone for your support so far. And I hope you checked out this podcast. I put out a new episode today where I basically spoke solo for about 20 minutes about all the transfers, incomings and outgoings that are being spoken about at Liverpool Football Club at the minute. So wherever you get your podcast, just search Anfield Agenda and hopefully you enjoy it. Right, Craig, if Gay goes to Newcastle or Chelsea, who would be ideal centre-back signing? So Antonio Silva and Levi Colwill would be the two, would be at the top of my list right now. Colwill has the homegrown factor, has the fact that Chelsea have 9,000 centre-backs at the club at the minute, and maybe is feeling a little bit peed off. And also, it would be all profit for Chelsea if they ever sold Colwill, because he's an academy product. Antonio Silva, I think, is just one of the best young centre-backs in the world. Probably costs more than Liverpool are willing to pay, but again, has been linked as one of the options for us. Okay, 1 second. Again, so Fabrizio Romano and everybody, I'll read it out, of course, but it's just kind of all reiterating the same stuff. How is Dublin, Craig? I don't know, Alex. I don't live in Dublin, mate. If you mean in general, I wouldn't be advising you to go to Dublin at the moment. But yeah, I live in Wexford, mate. So, Real Sociedad understand Liverpool are ready to do everything to sign Martín Zubimendi. I mean, again, it's not really any information. That's what Fabrizio Romano said, by the way. Do you not take some comfort from the fact that there's nobody has come out and said he's about to turn us down? So whatever we think about the possibility of when we sign him, when we get to here we go, I've not seen anyone to say that the player's leaning towards staying. Not one. So surely we take that as a positive. The poll's gone down 1%. 78% of people now think we sign him. I'll leave that running for a while. We ain't signing anyone, get real. Okay, Paul, I have 500 quid that says we are. Are you ready to put your money where your mouth is? You know? You're telling me to get real. I'm getting real to the tune of £500, mate. Would you care to back up your very, very blunt comment of it ain't happening with money? It doesn't have to be money for me, mate. We can do this for charity if you like. But, you know, I'm the guy who sits here summer after summer, window after window, screaming, "Where's the money, John?" I'm well known for being somebody who speaks out against the owners when they're being tight, and if I think they're trying to fool us. I've done it numerous times. I've landed myself in a shitload of trouble for it, mate. But I can promise you categorically that Liverpool will make a signing this summer. Without any hesitation, I can say to you, Liverpool are going to make a signing. And again, if I thought there was a reason to go in on John, bro, I would be all over it. You know that. It doesn't take much for me to ask where the money is or to tell him he's cheap. But on this one, the money's there. It's just a matter of convincing the player at this point. And Liverpool are starting to look a little bit more firm on it now. You know, pushing it a little bit more. Michael Watson said, I do believe he's coming because of the fact this would have been closed down. Exactly. I've not seen one person say... Ram said Fabrizio gave the here we go and Zubimendi. See, I know that's not true and you're about to get banned. So, was it worth it? You know, we don't take lies on the channel, mate. We don't take people shithousing other fan or other members of our community. So, bye-bye. Jason, how are you, my friend? Let me just grab your super shot up on screen, bro. Craig, I have everything crossed for Zubimendi. I'm sitting here right now with my testicles crossed. Yeah. Just that's how much I am, mate. Fingers, toes, testicles, nostril hairs, everything. I'm right with you, Jason. There was something about wouldn't get rid of Bajcetic. So it would just be a loan, mate. I want to make that really clear. I agree with you, by the way, Jay, the G97. My preference would be to keep Stefan around as well. But I can understand if the club would say, after a full year out, and maybe bringing in Zubimendi, the club say, go get some experience, you know, and come back then after, you know, a good full season, more minutes in his legs, back up the fitness. I can understand it, mate, but I just want to reassure you that it isn't going to be a sale. It's a loan. You speak a load of rubbish, he's not coming. You just say this, Joe, right? I'll translate what Joe just said for you. Craig, I need some attention. I'm going to say something negative because I get some type of weird sexual gratification from being spoken down to. And you're the man, Craig, so I'm going to do my best Go on, I can see you there now. Little Todger out, ready to go, waiting for Uncle Craig out to just... But I'm not going to give you that release, mate. I'm not going to give you that joy. There's nothing wrong with being Craig curious. Happens to the best of them, Joe. But I don't know why you're such a miserable fuck, mate. I don't get it. I've never said I know anything or didn't know anything. Again, put words in my mouth that I haven't said. But it's okay. You got your little bit of attention. Now you can go back to trolling the next channel that you're sad enough to go in on. It ain't going to happen. You're wasting your fucking time. I will own you like that. Sorry about that, everyone. But let's carry on. I really hope we get Zubimendi. Look, we're all very anxious about it. But look, I look at these things like... I can only say there's not one negative thing that anybody's written from any side of this, from a journalistic perspective. None. You know, there's maybe he hasn't made his mind up, but there's more he's leaning towards yeses. I've not seen one suggestion that he's not coming. I've seen suggestions that maybe Liverpool are getting impatient, that maybe Liverpool would like an answer sooner rather than later. Understandable. I understand it from everybody's side that the sooner you get clarification on this, the easier it is to plan for both clubs, both sets of fans. I get it. But nobody knows that it isn't happening. You're right and understandable to have doubts about these owners and transfer business. I'm with you on that one. You know my take on these owners. Cheap. And even if they sign Zubimendi, I still think they're cheap. So... You know, for me, let's see how our spend is at the end of the window. And we'll go from there. But honestly, I know how hard we're working to get this deal done. This isn't a PR exercise. This isn't a fake offer. Liverpool believe this deal's getting done. 500 quid, let's say 50 quid, and I'm in. You say we sign him and I say no because I don't think he wants to leave childhood club. Deal, mate. Only if we do it for charity, if that's okay. So if I win, you drop into the chat and I'll tell you what charity I'd like you to make a donation to, and you can email me a screenshot of it. If you win, you pick a charity, sir. Or if you want the money yourself, I'll give it to you. I just don't want to take your money off you. But, deal. Let me just bring this up so we can all remember the gentleman's name. And look, I get your point as well, by the way. 777IMH. Leaving your boyhood club, I'm sure, is difficult. But I think what has me so confident is obviously the stuff we're reading and seeing. But on top of that, Alonso being his idol, Alonso having already, made that difficult decision to leave his boyhood club, to come across to Liverpool. We then went and won a Champions League. Again, the agency is one that Liverpool have good relations with, and Richard Hughes knows, having brought Iraola in. I just think we're the right club for him to make that transition. Sometimes it'll be another club. For instance, sometimes I'm sure there'll be a player that will make sense to go to United over a Liverpool or an Arsenal. This one for me feels like we are the right move for the kid. Yeah, that's all I can say, but happy to take you up on that bet anyway, mate. And just from my side, I'd like, if I win it, just to go to charity. And he said deal. Well in. Top man. And thank you. So look, one way charity is going to make a few bob out of this, mate. So between us, we'll do something good, right? Fionn, let me grab up your super chat, mate. Any update on centre backs? Cheers. Yes and no. So educated guesses are, you'll hear Colwell's name mentioned. Antonio Silva would be great. But outside of those, when I think for a young centre back, I really don't know. Lacroix is another name that's been doing the rounds again. Mark Gay, no, unfortunately, even though I think he's a good defender. But I really wouldn't feel comfortable just throwing out a name at centre back at the minute, because I'd be more telling you who I'd like rather than who I think is feasible. And again, it could come down to a case, like let's say Liverpool have to finance this as 60 million up front in one go for, Zubimendi. Then we're probably going to have to go to an external finance company to restructure that so we can have cash flow to make another signing or two. But remember, before we say anything else, we have 18.7 million quid saved on the wage books just because of the 3 players that moved on. So to Liverpool, this signing is almost paid for across the club's balance sheets, at least for the first year, by that saving of those players' wages, 18.7 million quid a year. Where was it? Can I say happy birthday to your mom? Caden, happy birthday to your mom. Hope she's a wonderful day, my man. And thank you for watching. Brendan said, Craig, your thoughts on Slot after the first few matches in pre-season? Buzzing, mate. Absolutely buzzing. Really excited. You know, I didn't know what to expect differently from Jurgen. You know, we heard what we might expect, but to see the incisive movement, the really quick passing through the lines, the decision making being delayed until you feel really confident that's the right pass. What I'm yet to get a proper read on, if I'm being honest with you, bro, is the defensive side of things, because we've not obviously had anywhere close to our strongest defensive structure out. But really excited. I don't think we're going to see boring football anyway. I feel really confident in saying that one. Justin Harris, let me get your super chat up, Justin. New Liverpool fan / subscriber coming in October. New Liverpool signing in the women's squad 2044. Love the community, Craig. Thanks for keeping us going during the downtime. So you're having a little bundle of joy. That's awesome. Congratulations. Do you know it's already a girl, as you've said, from the women's squad? But that's awesome, mate. Congratulations to you both. That's amazing. Always great to welcome another little red into the world. So much love to you and your partner, and of course your incoming bundle of joy. I noticed you didn't go all out and say going to captain the Liverpool ladies team. So, you know, big her up a little bit. Going to captain the team, bro. Nilan, thank you. Said, hi Craig, love the channel and keep up the great work. Greetings from Sweden. Thank you. Really, really, really a lot, mate. Means a lot. Yeah, incredible. Like, you guys have been really kind to us over the last week. The numbers on the streams lately have been insane. Now look, I'm aware it's because transfer stories are happening as well, but thank you for sticking with us night after night. Dylan, let me get your super chat up. And by the way, I'm happy to stay on again tonight till about 11:15. So strap yourselves in, we've an hour to go. Tomorrow's my day off, so I won't have a live stream tomorrow unless something happens. Would you prefer Zubimendi now or Caicedo last summer? Oh, what a question. Oh, what a question. I'd probably say, I'm going to say probably Caicedo last summer. Because at last summer's point, we wouldn't have seen him have that mixed season for Chelsea this year, right? Where he's kind of been not the Caicedo we've seen at Brighton. But at his age profile, at 21, coming into that Liverpool team with McAllister and under the tutelage of Arne Slot after Jurgen, I still say Caicedo is a wonderful football player. But it's more the age that would probably tip me towards Caicedo than anything else. From a quality of football perspective, I think Zubimendi is more mature. Zubimendi is ready to come in and make a big difference straight away. And at half the price nearly, I really like the Zubimendi deal. But I'm not going to lie, both of them are deadly. I wouldn't have been displeased either way. Good question though. Am I going to watch the Charity Shield? Absolutely not. The two-man clubs? No. I'd rather stick pins in my eyes. So no, I won't be watching the Charity Shield. Yeah. Right, so we've had over 3,000 votes now. 3,280 votes to be precise, saying, will we sign Martin Zubimendi? 78% so far of you guys have said yes, we will leave that poll up there. It's pinned to the top of the chat, by the way, if you want to go up and have your say. Anfield sector posting a load of crap. I don't have Twitter, so whenever I see something on Twitter, it's somebody who would have sent it to me. So I'm sure Mark will probably forward it on to me, but I don't know what it is exactly that they've posted. And we're doing watch-alongs on Sunday. 100% Ben. Yeah, we're going to be live from about 12 o'clock for the Sevilla one. Then we're going to take a break, obviously, and then we'll come back at about 4:30 for the Las Palmas one. But absolutely, we'll be doing both of them. I'll probably even throw in a news video or a stream later that night as well. So, big day on Sunday. Yeah, we're going to have loads of content coming out. Hope you guys can come along and join us for it as well. Quick question, actually. It's about the podcast. So for anyone who's listened to our podcast, can I just get your opinion on one thing? I've always been really comfortable doing podcasts with 2, 3, 4 people because I'm used to it. But you've probably noticed about half of the podcasts that we've released since we've released the Anfield Agenda podcast have been solo podcasts. I just want to know your thoughts on that. How do you find the solo ones? Because it's obviously difficult when you've no one to bounce off, so it's just more me talking for 20 minutes. But again, always just looking for some feedback on these type of things. Till when do you expect Zubimendi to sign for us? I expect an answer by the end of the weekend. I don't think Liverpool are going to wait any longer than that, in all honesty. Strong 11 on Sunday. So from what I can gather, Clara, what I was told when the friendly was announced was that players who've already played in pre-season and had some training will feature in the one against Sevilla. Those who are, he's looking at an eye to starting the week after. Players who've come back much later, like Virgil, Trent, Ali, they may take part along with a younger team in the second friendly. But that's what I was told when it was announced. It could have changed at this point. So I would expect, yes, a strong team, but one that's probably already played some minutes in pre-season. I don't really expect to see the lads who came back late included in the Sevilla game. LFC Love said solo spot on. Solo good, said Mo Salah. Solo podcasts are great. Thank you. Because honestly, I feel like it just could be sound like me waffling for 20 minutes. And but thank you for the feedback. Have I missed the super chat? Nope, I've already done that one. Cool. Ashlyn Jones, welcome back to Anfield Agenda Ultras. Thank you for joining. Appreciate you. I've got more news that I haven't gone through yet, so bear with me. Matteo Moretto said Martin Zubimendi is closer to leaving than he is staying. Oren, let me grab your super chat up, my friend. So Oren Connor said, give them Bajcetic for a year and then we get Zubimendi. That, I think, we touched on that, Oren, earlier on. I think that would be a genius move for everybody. Obviously, Stefan Bajcetic started and came through the academy at Celta Vigo. So send him to Sociedad on loan for the year. Let him get minutes. Let the Sociedad get covered then from having lost Zubimendi. I'd be all over that, mate. I think that would be great for everybody. But of course, it's just fantasy football at the minute, isn't it? But I don't dislike the idea. I love you too, the Ultimate Irish. Thank you. I love all of you guys. I say that without any blushing or hesitation. I love each and every one of you that come in each night and show me the courtesy, love and respect that you do. It means so much to me to be here with you all. Honestly, it does. So, yeah. I've said the same thing all the time and I'm never going to understand why you're watching. I think you're all mad. But I appreciate it and I'll never take it for granted. Tamerlan, 1 second, my friend. Let me grab your super chat up as well. Tamerlan Asadov said, amazing content, best Liverpool YouTuber out there. Thank you. Thank you, Tamarin. And look, I'm going to let you in on something here, bro. I don't really ever talk about goals on the channel that much because I try not to set them, but I do have one goal. We're already the most watched Liverpool fan channel in the world. We've already done that and do it month after month. But I want to be the most subscribed to Liverpool fan channel in the world. Not because of any dislike to anybody else, just because I'm a competitive son of a bitch. And you play to win. So for me, the goal is to become the most subscribed to fan channel, and I think we'll get there eventually. Obviously, I've got immense respect for everybody else, all of my peers within the industry and Liverpool content world, but I want to be number one. That's the way I'm wired as a human being. Thank you for all you've done in the good and the dark times, said A. Santino. Mate, the time where I really knew what this community meant to me more than anything was those COVID years when we had nothing to talk about. Like, before football came back, you know, we were all dropping in a couple of hundred people only at some times, and we were just keeping each other sane at that point, you know. It was they were dark days, man, for everybody. So yeah, it's been a mad release being able to come in and chat with everyone, have some fun. Nessie, how are you, my friend? Let me get your 11-month membership comment up. How is everything, my good man? I'm really happy, thank you. Yeah, all the family's here under the roof. My daughter's back from work for the week, so she's home for the weekend. Lucas is upstairs. Sabrina's out, I think, walking the dog at the minute. So life is good and healthy in the Houlden household, thank you. I got some medical test results that were good as well, which, yeah, I feel a lot more relaxed and a lot more calm after the live shows have been over. Why are our owners so cheap? It's pissing me off big time, said Rob O'Goy. So my answer is because they don't care. That, you know, this is a really divisive subject, mate, that always lands me in trouble. But I'm going to say what I say all along. I've never believed that FSG give a damn. Because they're in it, understandably, I guess, for the financial end of it. They're an investment firm. They're in it to make money, and they're doing that. But I want us to be competitive, and I want an owner that wants to win, and not wants to win purely by maybe getting lucky and polishing some rough diamonds into class acts. They've done some great stuff. They gave us Jurgen. Nobody can deny that. We've won what we won on the Jurgen. They've done some very good stuff around the stadium, but nobody will ever convince me that they're not cheap. You know, that's a personal belief. And the thing that really, 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 really sickens me is the Super League stuff. To me, that was akin to my wife cheating on me. That's how strongly I feel about what they did to us on the Super League stuff. Every single one of us thrown under the bus. The players, the fans, the coaches. Nobody spoken to about it. Nobody given a damn about our culture, how we consume sport, what the European Cup has meant to this football club. We just woke up and got a statement to say, this is happening, get on with it. And I'll never, ever, ever forgive them for that. Never. Because it was disgusting. And they did it out of greed. Omar, how are you, my friend? Said, love the show. Sign one, Isak or Gordon. Gordon for me. Because I believe in Darwin. And I believe in Jayden Dans. So yeah, I get Gordon. Actually, on that, Lewis Kumas signing a new deal with the club and will be going on loan to Stoke City for the campaign. So congratulations to young Lewis Kumas. Obviously Jason Kumas' son. So congratulations to him on signing a new deal. And as I said, well, I'm not sure if it's inked yet. But if it isn't, it is going to happen. And then he's going to go on loan, likely to Stoke. Conjam said, Craig, right now with the rumours going on, what would be the perfect end to the transfer window? bringing in Zubimendi, getting a centre-back, Newcastle getting a little bit desperate at the end of the window when nobody's giving them the money they've wanted, and having to sell a player, which Eddie Howe has already come out and said that they're going to have to do, and then we get Gordon. Then I think we can just look to move on the fringe players, or the players that are surplus to requirements. But it's not a successful window for me unless the three things get done: forward, midfielder, defender. Brett said, look, FSG aren't the worst owners, but us Liverpool fans clubs shouldn't be accepting there's worse owners. Saying that, I understand you need to be very careful what you wish for. Yeah, you're right. They're not the worst owners, and I've never ever, and not that you've accused me of, but I've never ever ever said they were. But they are opportunistic owners, and they have made smart business decisions without any shadow of a doubt. But you're right. We grew up on winning, you know. Those of us maybe of a certain age grew up with relatives, fathers, sisters, mothers telling us about the glory days, the European Cups. I got to see Steven Gerrard do it in 2005. Obviously then we got the league title. Liverpool exists to win trophies, not to get John W. Henry Champions League football money every year. So I'm only content when I see Liverpool putting out a team that we as the fan base truly believe have a chance to go and win the league and the European Cup. I'm not saying we've any divine right to do it. It's difficult to do. But you want to go into that season as a Liverpool fan with a genuine belief that everything has been done possible to give, in this case, Arne Slot the opportunity to go and succeed. Harry, again, thank you for your super chat, mate. So thank you for the streams. It's a nice escape. It's fun for me, mate. I love coming in and chatting with you all each night. Means a lot. Mike, I'd love this window, Mike. So Mike likes Zubimendi, Colwill and Anthony Gordon. That is a window that I would be over the moon with, bro. Absolutely over the moon with. And another super chat from David Leslie said, can't wait till Zubimendi is announced tomorrow so Craig will be back on to talk about it. Me and Connor had a running joke about that earlier on, mate. You know, saying, tomorrow's our day off. Connor will probably record a news video. And he said, you know, Zubimendi's breaking tomorrow. You know, you're not going to get the day off. So, look, I'll be delighted to come back on. Don't get me wrong. Happy to sacrifice a day off if it means we get to come on and talk about a top quality number 6 coming into the football club. So, Mark kind of summarised that Anfield sector stuff on Twitter. I'm going to read out what Mark said. Pretty much, they posted, don't go to Liverpool because you won't be better than Rodri anyway. I don't know if that was in relation to what somebody else said. And then, when somebody asked what was their source, they went crazy and started calling people out and kept giving random mumbo-jumbo, saying they have a top source saying it now. I have no idea. No idea. Sorry. I don't know what's going on there with Anfield sector. To be fair, it's not my place to go in on them or anything. I'll leave it be. Yeah, Anfield sector. I find are usually quite a good account. In fairness, right. Zoidberg. Craig, you need to bring out shirts and hoodies with "Where's the money, John?" Can wear it to Anfield and mount a campaign. We will have merch coming out, mate. Definitely. As I said yesterday, we're going to get some mugs on the go. We are going to get some cheaper t-shirts produced. Obviously, there won't be Adidas that will have phrases and stuff on them like that. Absolutely. I've got a couple of ones. Shenanigans is another t-shirt I want. No Newlawn, no party is another one I want. So can anybody fill me in a little bit more on that whole Anfield sector stuff? Because it's a bit weird. Say, like, don't go to Liverpool, you won't be better than Rodri. That's... I mean, whoever said that to Zubimendi is a bit strange. Especially if it was somebody from the Sociedad side. Like, that's not going to convince them that they think he's brilliant. I don't get it. I just don't get why anyone from any side, anywhere, would say that to Zubimendi. Because he doesn't have to be better than Rodri. Because it's not an individual game. It's a team sport. And with all due respect, Zubimendi and Alexis McAllister beside each other makes for a pretty damn impressive midfield duo that could go up against any midfield duo. So it was their manager, Sociedad's manager, that said it to him. Imagine trying to convince a kid to stay at your football club and then telling him he's not good enough to go and be better than Rodri. I know what my answer to that coach would be. Watch. Watch as I go to Liverpool and win something. Watch. Omar said, rumours about Liverpool hijacking the De Ligt deal. No idea. No idea, Omar. I'd be surprised considering what his wages are likely to be. You know, he went from Ajax to Juventus on a very high wage. Off the top of my head, I don't really know what his wage is at Bayern Munich, but I would say he'd be asking for a lot more money than... is it Rafaela Pimenta who's his agent? I think that's his agent, but yeah, I mean, I'd be very surprised if that rumour was true. So, this has been a consistent poll all night, but I'm going to see if we can have the most voted for poll ever. Let's see if we can get our poll to over 5,000 votes. It's just about at 4,000 now. Basically, the question is, will we sign Martin Zubimendi? Yes or no? De Ligt or Bastoni? Again, I don't think it's going to be Bastoni based off the apparent search criteria for Liverpool. So yes, Inter Milan may have to sell a player or two because of it was Oaktree Capital who took over from Sunning, who missed the repayment, and they do have some financial concerns. So I think likely they'll sell somebody. 60 million quid has been mentioned as a fee for Bastoni, but it doesn't really align with this narrative that Liverpool are looking for a centre back who won't expect to start straight away, but will build up to a position where they will become a starter over a season or two. So, but look, these are good names, right? I'm not displeased if you start talking about a Bastoni or something like that. David Massett, how are you, my friend? Said, oh, by the way, I've nearly talked myself into a future Liverpool show already. David said, I want Zubimendi at the club. I just worry he could be holding out for Alonso getting the Madrid job. The problem with that is, what if he doesn't? As an example, what if Alonso doesn't get the Madrid job? What if Alonso goes to Bayern? Or what if Alonso stays at Leverkusen? You know, let's say they go and won the Champions League just for shits and giggles. There's no guarantee. And there's also no guarantee that if Alonso does go to Real Madrid, that Zubimendi is going to be bought. You know, they've already got a pretty good midfield there. So there's a lot of hypotheticals there, and what we know for certain now, as the old phrase goes, is one in the hand is worth two in the bush. He knows Liverpool want them now. He knows that this move to a big club is on the table right now. A club that really wants him to come in and form part of a world-class midfield with Alexis McAllister. So yeah, look, if I'm Liverpool, that's the pitch to him anyway. Hypotheticals are just that, hypotheticals. May not come about, may come about. Hello Craig, I messaged you on Insta. Again, just to reiterate, my friend, I don't access or run or look at any of our social media accounts. Connor takes care of them all, so it would have been him that would have either seen or not seen the message, so don't think I'm ignoring you. It would be great to do something. I'll be doing vlogs from Anfield, close-up footage this season, see how it goes. Be great to do something together. Lee, absolutely Lee, look, when the season gets cracking, mate, happy to jump on and do a little something with you, record a video, or be of help in any way I can, mate. No problem with that whatsoever. If you ever want to contact me, Lee, just use our email address, contact@anfieldagenda.com. That's where I'll answer, you know. So if you want to contact me, that's the easiest way to do it. Contact@anfieldagenda.com, and I do see those because I'm signed into the email accounts. Any news, Salah, VVD and Trent? So, Trent, next week, Liverpool are going to start negotiations with Trent, according to some very reliable journalists. VVD, I don't know anything, but the consensus is that Liverpool are looking to later in 2024 to start talking with Virgil. I don't know why they're so relaxed about that. And with Mohamed Salah, I just think it's just written in the stars that he leaves. He won't, and his agent won't accept a sale this summer because that would leave a lot of money on the table for them. Liverpool, I don't think under Michael Edwards will offer Mohamed Salah an extension at terms that will be better than he's on now. Nor do I think he deserves terms that are better than he's on now because he's only getting older. So I think that's just going to peter out into him moving next summer. You know, there is, of course, I guess, an outside chance that Mo has an amazing campaign. Shows that he's got 2-3 years left at the top, and maybe Liverpool put an offer on the table. But as of right now, I'm certainly expecting that he leaves at the end of this season. Daniel Evans, thank you, bro. Said, big fan, mate. Love the videos. Watch from Wales. Thank you. We're in Wales last week. Actually, this time last week, mate, I was on stage in Wales, or I just finished being on stage in Cardiff. So what do we think? Should I do another Liverpool show in the future? Let me know in the chat. If we do it, it's only going to be a one show thing. It's only going to be Liverpool. It's only going to be the Hot Water Comedy Club. Because I was really, really pleasantly surprised. I was expecting to be almost chased out of Liverpool with pitchforks. If you listen to Twitter, I'm hated in Liverpool. But that wasn't the experience I had when I went to Liverpool. Scousers came, old and young, male and female. And everybody was really kind and really spoke well about the channel. The venue was amazing. I loved it. I really felt comfortable on stage there. I know we can put on an even better show next time around. Maybe, you know, we've got Carl Porter who said he's happy to come back again. I'm sure David Lynch should come again. And maybe we could pull off something really, really big. Put together an unbelievable night. Yeah, I think we could do something special. So that's why I'm thinking maybe one more at Liverpool. Ben, I thought this was my wife when I read the first line of this sentence, Benjamin. PJs and fleeced hoodie for merch. I'm new to X. I think Ivan and Anfield Sector are angry because they're claiming official sources like Mike Rec. They're both claiming they said Zubi was coming first. Okay, I like both accounts, by the way. You know, so I'm certainly not going to say anything bad about Anfield Sector, and I'm definitely not saying anything bad about Ivan. So yeah. I admire both of them for different reasons. Ivan because he's just a nice fella, you know, messages us behind the scenes, always complimentary. And Anfield Sector because I genuinely feel they have a very good account. Omar, thank you, mate, for your super chat. Said bring back one ex-Liverpool player in their prime. Oh, right now for what this team needs, Sami Hyypiä. Sami Hyypiä I would take right now in his prime at the heart of that defence. On top of that, Alonso, of course, you know, would be right in there. You could never say no to having Stevie G back. But if I had to pick one right now with what we need, I'd probably go with Hyypiä. Ethan Parker, thank you, Ethan, for your super chat. Said, who do we need to sign for your perfect window? Anthony Gordon, Zubimendi or Ederson, and Antonio Silva. If you wanted my perfect window, that would be it. A perfect but still somewhat reasonable window, like that would be it. How much? Like, do you know much about Lucho's future? It depends what you mean by do I know much about it. I can say to you that the club have always been open to an offer this summer for Lucho, but I've never understood why. In all, like even said this to David Lynch when we spoke on stage. I've never known why the club are so open to the idea of selling Lucho when he's in his prime at 27. He's not a particularly high earner at the football club. He's got 3 years to go on his contract. And unless somebody was coming in and putting down stupid money, you know, I don't see why anybody would be proactively looking to sell him. Craig, how can such a funny and heartwarming guy like yourself be hated anywhere? Because, I don't know. I've got various reasons. Do you know, I'm a hothead, you know. Some guy came up to me at the live show and he said, similar to something on the stream here one night, I used to think you were an asshole. I used to see clips of you and think that you were an asshole. And then I actually watched a little bit and I realised that they were just small little sections of it. So, I don't know, but mate, when I say, I mean like threatened, like you'll be hung from Lime Street lampposts. That was the type of stuff I used to get on Twitter about coming to Liverpool. But as I said, that wasn't my experience when we went there. It was amazing. And it's really inspired me to want to do an even bigger show back in Liverpool. I'm starting to worry about the Ibrahima Konate slot doesn't fancy him, said David Massa. Yeah, I read that earlier on myself, mate, and my honest answer is I can understand why he'd be concerned. I wouldn't be looking to sell him yet, but I certainly feel like right now Kwanzaa's ahead of him in the pecking order for me. I'll read out the piece to you, just so we have a reference point. 1 second. My God, so many notes today. So this piece here, it's in the Echo, by the way, if you want to go and have a read of it. It says, Ibrahima Konate faces uncertain future. Liverpool defender Ibrahima Konate faces an uncertain future after Arne Slot has been left unconvinced by the French international, according to reports. The 25-year-old suffered time on the sidelines through injury during Jurgen Klopp's final season and was left on the bench for the entirety of France's Euro 2024 campaign. Football Insider have claimed that the new Reds head coach hasn't been convinced by the defender during the preparation for the upcoming Premier League season. It has been said that the former Leipzig defender's patchy availability record and analysis of his performances have raised questions. Honestly, I think that's fair. That he has doubts, I mean. I can understand it. Because I've had the same doubts looking at him, particularly in those few minutes we've seen in pre-season, which wasn't that much. But I wonder, will he be able to be progressive and pass out through the lines? We know he's a big physical guy. We know he has recovery pace. We know he's good aerially. But will he be able to do the passing through the lines without errors? I'm unsure. But I'm definitely not at the point of saying sell the guy. But I can see maybe why he's gone down the pecking order a little bit under Arne Slot's initial impressions. I think I covered this. I told you guys about that crazy story linking Robbo with Galatasaray, right? Which is absolutely mental. Surely there's nothing to that. Paul Hughes said, from a Scouser, you're sound, mate. Keep up the good work. Thank you, Paul. Appreciate you, mate. Can you please explain to me why Colwill is one of our targets? I've never rated him, said Isa. Cobham, Chelsea's academy, always produces a great quality of player. He's homegrown, so he would give Liverpool a bit more flexibility in their non-homegrown places in the squad. He's still young enough to improve. He is the side we're looking for. But I still don't think he's the best option. But I'm just trying to say to you why he's somebody who Liverpool are keeping an eye on. He signed, I think last summer personally was the best chance to get him. And whatever was said to him with Chelsea, he bought it and signed a new deal. So Antonio Silva would be the one that I think I've said we should go out and put the money in that basket and bring him in. Robbo's definitely on the slide though. Agree. Paul, agree. Andy Robertson is definitely at the tail end of his prime and needs pressure from somebody to up his levels. which is why I keep talking about the fact that I don't like that Salah doesn't have a real competitor on the right side. Whether you think they're going to play ahead of Mo or not, it's good to have that competition and, of course, the availability. So I agree, Paul. I don't think Costas is going to be good enough. I never thought he was going to be good enough. So for me, I would have sold Costas and brought in somebody else. What do I think of Ben Doak? Very exciting young player. I was a little bit disappointed in the few games he played in the Europa League last year. I was expecting a bit more of him. Obviously, he then had an injury which kept him out of the Euros with Scotland as well. I think a loan move for a season in the Premier League will give us a good indication of where Ben Doak is at. Leicester, Brentford, and one or two more clubs who I can't remember off the top of my head have been credited with an interest. Actually, Carvalho has been linked with a move back to Fulham as well. That's another potential deal to keep an eye on. Colwell's a good defender at the right club, but not at Chelsea. I don't know why anybody is sticking around at Chelsea. Honestly, I would be super concerned if I was a player at Chelsea. Like, they're bringing in more lads that none of us have heard of on 7-year contracts for 20 million quid. It's mental. We went through Chelsea's squad the other day. Like, it's honestly insanity. They're going to have to build another dressing room. Do you think we sell Carvalho? I really hope we don't. I didn't think he would be available for sale after pre-season. You know, if you're trying to be fair and say to players, show me what you got in pre-season. Scored against Arsenal, scored against United, looked sharp to me when I watched them play. So for me, I thought he's earned a spot in the squad. I'm not saying he's earned a starting 11 place, but I guess I don't make these decisions, right? So it's up to Arne Slot then what happens. But I would rather he was kept around. I'd sell Curtis Jones and keep Carvalho, personally. But I know I'm probably in the minority on that. Mike said, am I the only person who likes Alphonso Davies for the left-back position? I think he has Real Madrid in his sights, whether he eventually goes on a free. He's been spoken about as being somebody who Real Madrid will eventually sign. I think, isn't he going into the last year now of his current Bayern Munich contract? And Real Madrid are probably just sniffing around, hanging on one more year, and maybe make that move for him. Have we signed Rio Nyamoha from Chelsea yet? Officially no, but yes. He's been training. He's been spotted doing some bits in Liverpool stuff. There was a 5-step investigation process that had to go through the Premier League for ratification. I believe those steps have been completed. And I think it's just, we'll get the final confirmation at some point soon, but I don't expect, I think it's done, basically. Chelsea can sign players within 24 hours. Liverpool have to beg players to join. Do we? When's the last time we begged a player to join, dickhead? And those lads that Chelsea have signed in 24 hours are because Todd Bowley spends money like a drunken sailor with no rhyme or reason to it, and will end up absolutely shitting the bed and causing Chelsea a whole lot of concerns. There's only so many times they can sell hotels to themselves, mate. So, you know, absolutely stupid comment. Quite simply stupid. Do you think we're going to sign Mamardashvili? Also, what time are you coming off stream? About 11:15 we're going to finish up at. Do I think we sign Mamardashvili? It might come down to how much time we have left in the window. But it's a very credible link. And the player, according to, you know, Fabrizio and other journalists, is very much open to the idea, even knowing that it would take an initial loan deal from somewhere for a year. Probably, I think Bournemouth were mentioned. But I don't know where Liverpool would rank the need to bring him in the list of priorities that they currently have. I just don't know. How many players are we expecting to sign in this window? Well, I want the 3 that we were told. Personally, WR10, mate. I want the 3 players that we were told all summer. A defender, a midfielder, and a forward. That's what we were told. That's what the expectation was going into the window. And that's what I expect. Anything less than that, disappointed to say the least. I could probably just about live and stomach a centre-back and a midfielder if you kept a couple of likes of Carvalho around. But there's no getting away with it for FSG in this window. You know, you've got to do the right things, or Arsenal are going to go and win the league. So Yaros will be gone after this season. He's in the last year of his contract, Felix, as things stand. I don't know, truly, if Liverpool are going to try to extend. I like Yaros as a goalkeeper. I think he'd certainly be worth keeping about, certainly for this season anyway. But I don't know what the future holds longer term for him with regards to a contract extension. I don't know. If we want to win the league, we need a left back, a centre back, Zubimendi or another 6, a left back and a left footed right winger. So I think we need a centre back, Zubimendi, like you've said. Honestly, I'm quite calm about our forward line. I think we've got a lot of talent there. You know, Darwin, Mo, Gakpo, Diaz, young Dans, who won't be going on loan because of a back injury initially. Anyway, he's sidelined for 2 months. Did I say Gakpo? So we've got options in attack. Yeah, I've never really understood what the push was for a winger in this window, or an attacker. Dave said, Craig, do a show so mods could meet up. I probably will, Dave. Yeah, do you know, I'm probably thinking maybe something around Christmas time, something like that. We'll probably do something. Let me just get my thinking hat on. Because if we want to do a show in Liverpool, Dave, remember the room we were in? I want to sell that out this time. I want 589 seats gone. So we can have an unbelievable atmosphere. But leave it with me, bro. That's all I'll say. Leave it with me. I thought we put on a good night over in Liverpool, and I want to go up again. Another comic. Do you know what? If you could do the comic that we had in Carl Porter, get a musician involved as well, get David Lynch up on stage, answer some questions with us as well. Me and Connor having a bit of fun. I think it could be a good night. Jota, yes. So how did I forget about Diogo? Yes, Diogo, another option for us. So yeah, that's what I said. I've never understood the talk about us needing a forward unless we were future proofing for when Mohamed leaves. That's the only thing I could really think of. So this coming in says the contract offer that Real Sociedad are presenting to Martín Zubimendi is still way too far away from what Liverpool have offered. So again, not one person is saying the kid's leaning to staying at this point. All signs are pointing towards Liverpool getting their guy. We're just all frantically waiting for the nod. David, thank you for your super chat, my friend. David said, pity Neto was injury prone. I would have liked them. Exactly the same as myself. I think Pedro Neto on his day is a really good footballer. I just would have the same injury concern, mate, that you would have. Especially at 63 million euro or whatever it is that they're paying for him. Yes, I agree. See if Jamie Webster is available. I don't think my budget would stretch to Jamie Webster money, to be fair. He's earned the right to charge top dollar because he's absolutely amazing at what he does. But I have a musician. I have a musician over here that I'd bring across with us. So yeah, I just need to align everybody's schedules. And then maybe we come over and we put on a Christmas show in Liverpool. What do we think? Good idea or not? Do we want another show at the Hot Water Comedy Club? Music, comedy, raucous crowd. Craig bouncing around the place. I mean, let's make it happen. And then when you say yes, I'm going to say, and $69.95 a ticket. Would you ever do a show in Nottingham? Meet and greets, yes. Show, no. I've said I'm never doing another live show again, but the only reason I'm considering Liverpool is the only place I didn't feel nervous. I felt nervous in Cardiff, Dublin, Belfast. Never felt any nerves in Liverpool at all. None. Only because, as I've said, I got out of the car, Dave Sharples was there, handshake, hug. Next, another handshake, hug. Inside, handshake, hug. All the way to the dressing room, handshake, hugs. Just felt like so welcomed. Fill me in with Zubimendi. So, Liverpool want an answer. And all expectations are that there's somewhat of a time frame on this. You know, I'm not saying an ultimatum, but Liverpool want a response soon. Sociedad are doing what I'm calling the act of a dying wasp with that last sting. Trying everything. Offering him a new contract. Guilt trips. Everything they can. And it doesn't look like it's working. So I really, really, really think that this is just them PRing for the crowd. So as Sociedad fans don't get to say to them, well, you didn't try hard enough to keep him. Get Paul Smith on the after show. Again, Paul Smith's selling out massive arenas now. It's not on my budget, but I've got my comedian. I've got Mr. Carl Porter. I love Carl Porter. I love the energy he brings to stage. Proud to call him a friend now as well, having got to know him quite a bit over the last few weeks. So yeah, man, Carl Porter will be my comedy of choice 100%. Liverpool 1123 said, I think the player wants to go, but he's trying to give them a chance to prove their ambition. I don't think they can prove that ambition though, because Lenormand gone, Marino looks like he's going, they're not in the Champions League, and they've already kind of backtracked themselves on what they said. They always said the player shows an indication he wants to go, they won't stand in his way. Now all of a sudden they're guilt tripping him by showing him slideshows about mountains and, you know, sad songs to make him feel like he'll miss home. I don't think you think this long without making the move. If it's a no or you lean into a no, I think it happens quicker. Personally, that's just my reading of it, on top of what I've been told behind the scenes as well. Craig, I missed the last shows you done, but if you do a Christmas one in Liverpool, I'll drive 3 hours from Oxford to come see you, bro. You're a special guy. I appreciate you being. Bring your friend Lynchy. Again, like, I'm so happy I've gotten to know David Lynch, because he's a truly lovely fella. And I think we've made David Lynch an offer to do regular content with us throughout the year. We're waiting to hear back from David, because, you know, we really enjoy chatting with him. We really enjoy the insight that he brings. So yeah, hopefully we can work something out where David comes on once a week and we talk all things Liverpool, you know, because I think he's a great journalist and a top lad. The Tree Karen said Carl Porter was class, especially the Neville impression. So I'm sitting behind the stage, right, waiting to come on, and I'm sitting there and all I hear is that Gary Neville impression that you're talking about, and I just thought, who is this guy? Because when you speak to Carl, he's so chill, you know, he's just really kind of normal, laid back fella, and then you see him go on stage and it's like the energy just exudes from him, and it's high octane stuff. I know he's building towards the Edinburgh Fringe Festival as well. He's putting together an hour-long set for that. I wish him nothing but the best with it. I think he's brilliant, to be honest. David Massett said, I will definitely fly in again from Italy. Thank you, David. And it was I can't look. We had people who flew in from Australia, Italy, Poland, Ireland for the show. in Liverpool, it was incredible. I think... let me see. Let me look at the availability at the venue as well, and talk to Hot Water and see what they think. George said, loved Carl Porter's Gary Neville impression. It was a surprise, made me laugh. I could hear the laughter from behind the stage, yeah. Funny part was his walk-on song, though. He chose one of the GoldenEye, or wasn't it? One of the James Bond songs. Is Bajcetic gone to Real Sociedad if we get Zubimendi? So, I don't know that, Harry, but we have seen Dave O.C. Kopp say today that... Sorry, 1 second. We've seen Dave O.C. Kopp say that Bajcetic has been told that he's available to go out on loan. What's this I'm seeing here now? Who's he crediting with this? So, LFC Transfer Room have posted and credited at NotGIP to say, at Liverpool, they believe that Martín Zubimendi has already given them his word, while Real Sociedad are waiting for Liverpool's call on the final structure of the deal. So, let me just say that tallies with what I told you earlier on that I'd heard, but was waiting for a second source on. Pretty much exactly what they've said there has been how it was communicated to me, that Liverpool believe the player's coming, and that structure is what's delaying things. So, again... wait for an Ornstein, a Joyce, somebody, but that definitely does tally with the information that I was told. So I'm even more confident now. Rusba, thank you, all the way from Canada. Appreciate your super chat, mate. You didn't put a comment in, but thank you nonetheless. Appreciate your support. Colin O'Farrell Nolan. Rory stories or the two Johnnies? Are you asking me which one I prefer? Rory stories, because I know Rory. I've done a video with Rory before. A lovely guy, really nice, very inspiring as well to see his own mental health journey and his battles. So yeah, I would definitely say I would be Rory stories on that side, because I don't know the two Johnnies. But again, always happy to see Irish people doing well. Out of 10, how confident are you we get Zubimendi? Same as I said earlier on, 8.5. That's kind of where I'm at. Rusba, here's your comment. Do you think Darwin will come good? Absolutely. I made a prediction earlier on in the summer that Darwin scores 30 goals in all competitions this season, and I'm sticking with it. So yeah, I believe he's going to do big things this year, because I think Arne Slot will inspire him and get the best out of him in a way that maybe Jurgen just couldn't figure out at that moment, and that's okay. Maybe Jurgen was unlucky, maybe Darwin, all those posts, but yes, I believe we're going to see Darwin score 30 plus goals in all competitions this year. Lukey Boy said Rory Stories is so funny. And he's a lovely, lovely fella as well. As I said, I had the pleasure of doing a video with him last year, I think it was. Maybe it was the year before. Just a nice guy. Just a nice guy who, I'm always delighted to see fellow Irish men and women do well. Spain won gold at the Olympics again. Well, again. They hadn't won an Olympic gold, I think, since Barcelona was the last one I think they won. But yes, great game, 5-3 in extra time. Incredible game. Craig, annual or biannual show in Liverpool, I think that would be perfect. I love that idea, Paul. Yeah, brilliant. An annual show, definitely. Or a summer and a winter show, Paul. Because... I should be sitting here saying we'll do it in Dublin, but honestly I felt more at home in Liverpool than at any other show. And now that I know Scousers don't all hate me, definitely feel like what you've said there, man, is on the money. A big Christmas show, something around the Christmas period definitely feels like we go and have fun in Liverpool. Right, we've got a couple of minutes left before we finish up. It doesn't look like we're getting any here we goes or anything tonight so far. Do you play FPL? I do, Isaac. Very badly. I try every year, mate. And I'm not going to say I don't pick my teams. I try, but I'm just not good at it. I always end up kind of mid-table in all the FPLs. So look, a few little things before we finish up. If you haven't, please do hit that subscribe button. Let's see if we can get the last 18 we need to get to 267,300. Also, new podcast episode came out earlier on today as well. So if you haven't already, just search Anfield Agenda on whatever your favourite podcast platform of choice is, and we should show up on there. I think I've covered pretty much everything. Oh, the Clips channel. Yes, we've hit 31,000 subscribers on Anfield Agenda, the Clips channel. We want to get the silver play button on there and get it to 100,000 at some point. So if you haven't, you can either scan the QR code on the screen or just search Anfield Agenda Clips. Give us a follow on there. There will be a summarization video coming out in about half an hour. So what we're going to do over the transfer window is ditch the morning video. We'll do the nighttime streams. I'll take a few minutes break and then I'm going to put up a summary video of all the day's events. So expect that out before 11:30. And then I will probably see you guys on Sunday, because tomorrow's my day off unless something happens. So yeah, much love to you all. Keep an eye out for the video dropping, which will summarise everything in about 45 minutes or so. And until then, thank you so much for dropping in. Hit that subscribe button, drop a like before you head off, and I will catch up with you tomorrow.